What would you do? You're in the prime of your life when doctors deliver devastating news. You've got an incurable disease and at best, just 2 years to live. It's a horrible predicament for those diagnosed with motor neurone disease, people like Ian Davis. This brilliant young cancer doctor knew from the outset the cruelties that lay ahead of him. But Ian would not be bowed by it. And for the past 2 years, we've followed him and his wife Mel as they've confronted his fate with bravery and with grace. And out of despair, they've made their own little ray of hope.
Okay, hi my boy. It's time to read you another book. As you know, like my voice is starting to go just a little bit, so I'm a little bit worried about not being able to read to you in a few months. So today we're going to read another book. It's called How to Catch a Star. All right, so hopefully my voice holds out.
36-year-old Dr. Ian Davis is a star. In fact, a superstar of cancer research, who's been gazing at a whole new medical universe.
Then he waited and he walked and he watched and he waited.
But now, this Melbourne medicine man is fading fast due to motor neurone disease. So fast, he's even reading children's books to his unborn son.
Finally caught a star of his very own.
Just in case Archie never gets to hear his dad.
All right, well that's the end, my boy. Until next time. MND is going to take a lot away from me, Ray. Like it's already taking my legs. It's starting to take my right hand. But I think one of the things that really scares me is it's going to take my voice. And I'm hoping that if I'm not around, that these videos which I'm recording will actually give him something just to remember me by.
Right, way you go.
It's the race against the ravages of MND that Brisbane dad Scott Sullivan also had thrust upon him when he was diagnosed at age 38. Doctors told Scott and his wife Sarah that there was no treatment, no cure for the disease, which has a typical survival length of just over 2 years.
Charlie, higher, higher. You know, I feel MND every day, so there's no escaping it. And so to dream of something that may not happen or will not happen, I think is dangerous territory. So for me, it's about keeping positive and do the best I can, and yeah, just try and be a good dad and husband. There's a lot of weakness around my shoulders. I can't really put my arms up too high.
Most of us would find it natural to raise the white flag and give in to a terminal illness, but not Ian and not Scott. So on a slick bicycle built for two, they decided on a fun and epic ride all the way from Brisbane to Sydney.
No pulling out now.
No.
You can do the feet and he can do the hands.
Yeah, exactly. I can't ride a bike on my own. I'll fall off and kill myself. But together we can achieve this and do it, so that's what we're going to do.
Is it a mongrel disease?
It's a bastard. It respects no one. No, you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. Seriously, not on your worst enemy.
Professor Dominic Rowe is our foremost authority on motor neurone disease, an illness which claims 750 Australians every year. That's 2 people every day.
Motor neurons are very special cells that are in your brain and in your spinal cord. And motor neuron disease is a disease that selectively attacks these motor neurons.
Sit comfortably for you.
It robs you of your ability to be mobile. It robs you of your ability to write, to look after yourself, to brush your teeth, to put on your socks, to tie your shoes. It ultimately robs you of your ability to breathe, to swallow, to talk, and then it takes your life.
Yeah, this is Australia's sort of premium cancer centre, so this is the place to come and look after people.
Now this is Ian Davis about a year ago, on the job at Melbourne's Peter MacCallum Cancer Centre, at the cutting edge of world research. Until his diagnosis 3 years ago, the expectation was that the young Dr. Davis would one day help cure leukemia.
To me, it's always been magical, you know, just to see how the bone marrow works and how things go wrong, and how certain people end up with certain types of leukemias. And that's something that I always thought I'd be doing.
Now Ian has had to give up work and give up any hope of curing cancer.
I actually first noticed it, ironically, at work when I was doing a ward round, and we asked people to stand on their toes and on their heels, and I realised that I couldn't do it either.
That night, Ian had to tell his new wife, Melissa Yang, who's also a doctor, of his own grim discovery.
I was panicked, and I think I just remember that 24 hours of just being completely overwhelmed with sort of a dark blackness, just worried about what that meant. I knew that I'd seen people with the disease die from it. I'd looked after them in palliative care. I tried to sort of play it down a little bit because Ian does tend to have a way of jumping to conclusions and thinking the worst sometimes, but deep down I did suspect that something was very wrong.
But Mel isn't just a doctor. She's also a wife who's about to lose the father of their unborn child.
I'm going to try and hang around as long as I can, but I think we're under no false pretenses that at some stage they will both lose me and my son won't have a father anymore. And it's one of the prime reasons why I do what I do, because I think every father wants their son to be proud of them, and like I just hope he likes all the things which I'm doing to try and help people.
Day 3, Burley Head, Gold Coast, down to Byron.
And helping fund the research to find that miracle cure for MND was the goal when Ian and Scott Sullivan set off on their long ride from Brisbane to Sydney. MND is a race against time, and as Scott and his wife Sarah discovered, a wrestle between hope and despair.
We've got awesome friends and family, and I just hope Scott realises how much we love him and how proud we are. And he's got to remember that he doesn't have to do everything.
Yeah, at this stage we don't have much to complain about, so.
We're good.
For Ian, it's been a race to tick off as many things from his bucket list as he can. Like jumping out of planes, taking on the MND Ice Bucket Challenge, and rolling out on stage like a music tragic with his favourite band Pearl Jam.
I've never hit a tambourine so hard in my life. So it's great because now Archie's going to have that. So
These crazy things my dad did.
yeah,
Like Pearl Jam.
yeah.
So normally this is filled up to about...
And maybe one day, Archie will be able to enjoy Ian's very own brand of beer, aptly called Cavalier Courage.
Yeah, so this is the final product, here on tap in the brewery, of course.
Nice colour.
Yeah.
And
nice
cloudy.
golden ale. Yeah.
The profits go to MND research.
I don't have motor neuron disease in my dreams, so I still have sort of big dreams. And then I wake up and usually for about 30 seconds I don't really realise until I try and roll over them. And it sort of dawns on me, but while I still can, you know, I still have those big dreams, and I'm going to try and do what I can to try and make them real.
But for all this extraordinary optimism and positivity, Ian admits to his black dog days. And even for this loving couple, a terminal diagnosis was almost too much. Mel and Ian had to spend some time apart.
Almost cost me our marriage. Like I pushed Mel away, and it was finally Mel sort of leaving that like drove me to see someone, and to then onto the right pills and all those sorts of things, just to get my thinking straight. Yeah. You know, like when she left, I then realised how sort of alone I truly was, and this disease is fairly scary anyway, even though like I know what's coming, being from a medical background, but to sort of think about doing it alone and things really sort of frightened me.
You know, you don't go from being diagnosed to being positive and motivated and wanting to go out and make a difference. People have to sort of, go through to find their way.
Not just motor neuron disease.
Now, finding a cure for MND is the big dream. And for that, Australia's big hope is Professor Dominic Rowe.
So we can change their genes to give them one of the inherited forms of motor neuron disease.
Dr. Rowe's team at Macquarie University Hospital is turning zebrafish into guinea pigs to make the giant leap from the existing therapy to a total cure.
We have one oral therapy that slows motor neuron disease a little bit, sort of akin to trying to slow down a 4-tonne truck by putting your foot out of the cabin on the tarmac. But in essence, we don't have a therapy that turns what is usually a relentless and progressive and fatal disease into a chronic indolent disease. We need that.
We're really feeling it. Day 13, legs are really sore. But what a beautiful morning. Really been inspired by all the support from the community. So it's driving us on.
Developing a cure for MND takes sharp minds and deep pockets. And it takes the drive of people like Ian and Scott on their tandem odyssey.
It took us 16 days. It was very hard work. But it was well worth all the pain, and as I said to Scott when we pulled into Manly Beach, like, if he wanted me to turn the bike around and go back up, I would have done it. You know, like, it was just an amazing experience, and to feel like I could still sort of do something physical as well. Yeah, it was amazing.
But the fact is, MND is cruel and it's unforgiving. 11 months after finishing the ride, Scott Sullivan, Ian's mate and partner in crime, Sarah's husband, Abby and Charlie's dad, succumbed to the disease that had ravaged his body for 3 years. Scott was only 42. Were you shattered when you heard of Scott's death?
Well, yeah. I was aware that his legs were starting to go and that he was having falls at home. And when a mutual friend gave me a call, it was probably about 9 o'clock at night. Like, I remember lying in bed, and he said Scott had fallen down the stairs and had hit his head. And after a few days wasn't waking up, I found it very hard.
The terrible reality hits in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But amid the heartache comes hope and joy, the arrival of little Archie. And now Ian's the proudest dad around.
It's been amazing. We've had him home now for sort of 2 weeks. And yeah, it's the best time that I can ever have at the moment.
Oh, there we go. There you go.
Nearly 3 years after Ian was diagnosed with motor neurone disease, having bravely faced the reality of his death, Ian and Mel are now celebrating the wonders of life.
I never thought that I would be a dad, and to now finally see him in the flesh, and to know that sort of half of me's in there, and that'll be there after I'm gone and stuff, is pretty exciting, and like, I'm pretty proud of him.
And for them, the joy comes with all its bittersweet blessings.
My favourite part of the day is after Ian has the morning feed and I get my 2 hours of sleep in, coming out in the morning and seeing them.
Hello, I'm Charles Wooley. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.